Hey, I'm Brody, and this is another episode of the PTSD Brief, just where I share tips and tricks that I've learned along the way in dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. One of the things I've noticed over time, and I've been dealing with this for a few years now, is that, I tend to get stuck in my head. And if you are someone with PTSD, you probably know what I mean. And part of that getting stuck in my head is, I don't know, everything gets screwed up. I forget things. I'm at a hotel, so I'll forget what room number I'm in, even though I've been back and forth to the hotel room 20 times. I'll still not remember what room number. So one of the things I do with that on my phone is I always take a picture of the number on the door when we get to our room. But something I've realized today, and sometimes I have some of my best revelations when I'm away and out of my normal environment, is that I don't verbalize anymore. Now that's unusual, being I was in the Army, I was a civilian police officer as well. Verbalizing is one of the keys, one of the first things they teach. And I have grown, I won't say mute because that is not the case, but I definitely get locked up inside my own head sometimes. And that's when things start to go awry and get confusing, and I can no longer adequately explain what's going on to my wife or anybody else because I've gotten so wrapped up in my own thoughts or whatever's going on up there. So something I've started doing or practicing to try and break that habit and maybe provide some relief or some way to better ways to cope is speaking out loud. Maybe a lot of times it's not stuff that even means anything. For example, I'm here at the hotel and I'm outside. I took just a few seconds, and looked around at my surroundings and spoke out loud what I was seeing. Like the type of flowers that were nearby, or the flower pots, or the vehicles that were in the area. Just describe the vehicles. There's a silver Lincoln MKX parked in the handicap spot to my left here. And it gets my brain back on track. It gets me back in the here and now. It distracts me from whatever anxiety issues may be going on in my head, whether I'm conscious of them or not. Sometimes I am, sometimes I'm not. And brings me back to the present, which is what I found anyways, is one of the most difficult struggles with all of this, is being present. I'm sure you are like me. I don't want to let life just pass me by and just miss all of the good things that are happening. So being in a present state of mind and knowing where you are, well, it does a couple of things. First of all, the obvious, you don't miss out on life. Second, there is a little bit of relief in that because of the hyper awareness that I deal with in trying to stay safe and make sure the area is clear, that it helps in that aspect somewhat, because I don't get lost in the past or imagination or whatever it may be for you, and sometimes it's just different for me depending on the day, I guess. But maybe that'll help you. So in your house, outside, wherever you're at, I guess you don't want to stand on the sidewalk in the middle of a bunch of people and just start calling out flour. But if you can step away by yourself for just a few seconds and say out loud what's around you, and bring yourself back to the here and now where you, me, and everybody else needs to be. So hopefully this helps. If you have something that helps you, tips and tricks that you've learned or apps or whatever, comment on the post here and let me know what they are. Thanks.